So, hi there. Happy New Year to all of you that are watching. I hope your 2021 is off to a great start. Um, Please let me know as you're logging on and watching, um, so I know who's here with me today. I know there's some pretty disturbing news going on right now, so I understand that many people may be watching um, TV instead of this, but I would completely understand now. My thoughts are with our nation, uh, and wishes for peace. Um, you may notice I'm not in the center today. I'm not in my office at the center. I am quarantining at home. I'm right now in my 7-year-old daughter's bedroom. My husband's taken over the other half of the house. He was tested positive Monday, despite all of our efforts to be extremely careful. It just goes to show the dangers of the virus. So I will be working from home the next few days. My daughter and I tested negative, so hopefully we stay healthy and I can get back to work at the end of next week. But I am keeping an eye on email and social media and phone calls. So if you have any questions that the staff at the center can't help you with, please feel free to reach out to me. I'm working some at night, so I may not see emails or voicemails until a little bit later at night. Also trying to get our 7-year-old back on a school routine, which has been different with its own set of challenges. But know that I'm at the center in spirit. We've had a really great staff meeting this morning. I know a lot of people are doing a lot of great things there, and everyone's really excited about the new year. So I have some announcements to make, some COVID protocols that I just want to go over. Just things like that. I don't know that we'll be on here too long, but I'm happy to answer questions. I see that Anita Thompson's logged on. Hello, Anita. Happy New Year to you. I hope you're doing well. First of all, I just want to take a minute to acknowledge the fact we survived 2020. It was certainly a memorable year. It was one of probably the most challenging year I've had as any type of professional role I've been in. Even though we knew COVID would hit at some point, I don't think any one of us realized the magnitude as we were talking about COVID. And this time last year, we knew it would eventually reach the shores, but we didn't know anything like this would ensue. So I just want to take a moment to say thank you for all of your patience and your flexibility over these last 9 or 10 months as we have navigated certainly uncharted waters. I'm very excited to have news of the vaccine. I know some of you were vaccinated earlier in the week, and that's great. We have some information about that coming up here in a minute. I'll talk a little bit about. But we are in a new year, and I hope that you've had some time to reflect and think about what you want to do in 2021. We've got lots of opportunities for that. I already had big plans of what I was going to be doing this week. Getting back in the gym, working out with one of our trainers at work, but COVID has hit the family, and so I'm just going to be quarantining instead and working out a little bit in one of the guest bedrooms at the house. I do want you to know some of the opportunities that we have. We are doing as many of the regular programming as we can. During this time, we're talking more and more about what we can put online. And we are beefing up some of our safety and health protocols. Know that we have personal trainers that are ready and willing to work and excited to work with you, whether you have worked with trainers before or never have. It's always a good time to begin something at the beginning of the year. I mean, every day is a good day to begin it, but this is a common time when people do. Several of our trainers have special certifications for working with those 50 and 60 plus, so If you ever have questions about the trainers, feel free to stop and talk to one, or stop in at the front desk and get some information about that. We also always have volunteer opportunities. We have a great volunteer coordinator in Susie Houston. She had just calculated up all of the volunteer hours from 2020, and I have that, and that note fell on the floor. Let me just say, I can read upside down. 6,836 volunteer hours last year. That's just a staggering number, and we appreciate you so. It's obviously a little bit lower than what we had done in 2019, but we were in a pandemic and closed 10 weeks. And lots of people are being careful and not coming in, and I'm glad that you're being careful. But just know, if there's anything you may be interested in volunteering, just please let Susie know, or let someone at the front desk know if Susie's not there, and she will get in touch with you for sure. Volunteers make our center work, and it's just so heartwarming to see so many people do so much and give so much to make Healthy Living OKC as successful and a great community as that it is. So thank you, and as more people are getting vaccinated and the case numbers go down, we'll have more opportunities for not only just volunteering but programming in general. But right now, our utmost concern is your safety, the safety of your families and our staff and their families. We are working on an email that will be sent out later today or tomorrow morning about some of the COVID protocols, and some of it's nothing new, but I think it's always a good reminder to go over these things. Some of us took a few weeks off, maybe from the center or other things in general over the break, and so January is always a good time to go back over some of those issues. I will say some of the highlights in that talks about mask wearing. Masks are to be worn over the nose and the mouth. I think maybe, I'm not sure where mine went. It was in here. I was going to demonstrate, but you get the idea. At all times, unless you are in a cardio exercise activity, if you are in a group fitness class, or if you are on a treadmill or something like that, that's the only time, or playing pickleball or basketball, those are the only times at this point where you are allowed not to have a mask on. I know everyone's tired of masks, but everyone's tired of this in general, and people getting sick, and we are all in this together. I know that's all we seemed to hear last spring, but it's the truth. It's going to take all of us working together. So mask wearing is critically important. In the past, we have allowed group instructors or class instructors, or say personal trainers, to wear the clear face shields that just kind of go over like this. And we will continue to allow those to be worn only when teaching or training is actively going on. Those people that have been given the approval to wear those, the trainers or the instructors, will now not be allowed to wear those in the common areas of the building. So if they're walking down the hall, they're going to be required to be wearing a mask and things like that. So that is another change that you will see. Quarantine, the staff, we have followed CDC guidelines for quarantine since day one, and we'll continue to do that. The CDC guidelines have changed a little bit over time when it comes to quarantine. Right now, if you have been exposed, the guidelines say you can end quarantine with a negative test result after 7 to 10 days of quarantine. We will continue to go with that. In some instances, the staff if we have been exposed to a high risk exposure, we quarantine above and beyond that for the full 14 days. That's what I'll be doing because COVID has been in my house. But we've got to require the members to do that too. We've heard some stories of, someone will come up to the front desk and say, so-and-so is exercising, and I know their cousin's house who they were at 3 days ago, they were exposed, and now they just now tested positive. We've heard things like that. And we don't want to be the COVID police by any means, but we also want to maintain a safe environment. So the email that's coming out by tomorrow will talk about those quarantine requirements. So that is something that I wanted to talk about. Anita, I want to address your question because that is something that we have talked about quite a bit. Anita's saying it concerns me that we breathe much harder and there's no mask requirement when exercising. That is, that's kind of $1 million question, Anita, and something that we have talked about a great deal. We're following some of the guidelines. What we don't want people to do is trap carbon dioxide and the bad air in, and then that can cause adverse effects too. So that's just a risk it's a calculated risk that people are going to have to make for the time being, whether they're comfortable with that or not. We require masks to be worn into, for instance, the group fitness room, into the locker rooms, around the pool deck. You can take those off while you're actually in that class, but that minute you're out of the water, back in the locker room, or even before you're going in, when you're going into the locker room, that mask needs to be on. When you're doing the weight machines in the fitness room, you need to be wearing masks now. The only time you can't in there is if you are in a cardio workout. We've had some questions about mask wearing after we get vaccines. It's a very good question. I'm glad people are asking it. Out of an abundance of caution, we will require everyone to wear masks even if you've been vaccinated, even after you get the second round of vaccine. We're just not going to take any chances here. Again, safety and health is my utmost concern, and that's what guidance is saying to be done, and so that's what we will require at Healthy Living OKC. While we're on the topic of vaccinations, we have just put out some fact sheets. I believe they're at the front desk that Tanessa, our NP with SSM or St. Anthony's, thought would be good to share. So there are some materials at the front desk about the vaccinations. There are several sign-up activities going around. The state health department is overseeing all of the allotment of the vaccine. I know that we've had a couple of members get a vaccine. I think one couple went to Duncan or somewhere down towards southwest Oklahoma. I know we have a couple more people signed up to get a vaccine tomorrow. Those of you that are on social media, pay close attention to those postings. As we see things on social media, we will post to our page too. And any updated information we get that, just generalized information, we will update and keep that at the front desk for you to have too. We are working closely with SSM to secure vaccinations for our location. As I said a moment ago, the State Health Department oversees all the allotment of vaccines. We are also in Oklahoma County and Oklahoma City, and so we also are, public health is overseen by Oklahoma City County Health Department. So those two entities kind of work together. There's a lot of red tape that SSM is working through to do that, but we have a very strong commitment to the goal of Healthy Living OKC being a vaccination location, or a location for vaccinations for our members and other family members as well. We're working on that. I wish I could tell you exactly when that's going to happen, um, but we will keep you updated. SSM, as a health system right now, is waiting to learn when they will get their first allotment. What's happening is the state health department is um, providing certain amounts of vaccines to county health departments and then the health systems as well. And SSM is waiting to hear when they will get their first group, which may be later this week. Each location for vaccination has to be approved. We're working on that approval process. We do know that St. Anthony's and all the other health systems will be offering vaccinations at their larger kind of healthplex centers or large healthcare centers before they branch out to smaller clinics. We will keep you updated. If you would like to get on a list to be informed of when SSM receives their allotment and get information about vaccinations through SSM, please let Tanessa, our NP, know. She is keeping a list and will let you know as she is informed when those vaccines will be available and what the sign-up procedure will be. We will try to keep you informed in general, just with all the county vaccination pods and things like that. It's a lot of information that's moving very quickly. I think the best word to describe it is fluid. So we will do our best to keep up with all of the information and share it with you, because we want you to be able to be vaccinated as soon as possible. Tanessa did share a little bit of information at our staff meeting this morning also that I thought I would share with you. She will share in a brief video that will go on Facebook the next day or two about this as well. But if the first dose you get is the Pfizer vaccine, the second dose you have to get is the Pfizer vaccine. And if you go to a county health department, we've been told, I know some people that went to Logan County and got a shot in Guthrie yesterday or the day before, they will have to go back to that county health location to get that second dose. So just know that's what we've learned. There is also a new website that launched late last night or early today called vaccinate.ok.gov. That will also, that's from the State Health Department, and that will be a source of information sharing as well. Anita, I see your question here. Tanessa does have email. You can email her. I know some of you are not coming to the center yet, and so you want to know, how do you get on Tanessa's list? Great question. She does have email. I'm going to see if maybe one of the staff members can type that in the comment box, so I don't have to dig through my emails to get that while I'm trying to talk to all of you. We've had also those of you that have been in the center. Well, before I change subjects, does anyone have any other questions about COVID or the vaccinations or anything like that right now? You can also, comment or direct message us or email me if you do, but I just want to make sure we get these questions covered first. It's a lot of information, but again, please stay healthy. Take care of yourself. Be careful. What happened in our family, we let our guard down for about half a day, and here we are in quarantine. So just continue to be careful. Try to stay aware and get your vaccine as soon as possible. Let me change the topic a little to membership software. Those of you that have been active members the last few months that have been in the building, Anita, we miss you too. Anita's saying, I just miss everyone. we miss seeing lots of faces, and we look forward to the day where we can see you again. But being safe and careful is your responsibility, and the most important thing you can do for you and your family. So we want you to do that too. Um, we'll try to get a little more online programming lined up in the next few weeks too. We're working on that. Okay, so let's talk about new member software. We had, since we opened almost 4 years ago, we had used a software program called Jonas to do all the billing and membership software. And that just had proven time and time again not to be user friendly. So we have migrated to a software called LPI. They call this particular process software package that we do, they call it Senior Space, but I hate the word senior, and I know that some of you do too, so we just call it LPI. We don't say the S word there. So there have been some glitches in it. Once we get through these glitches, it's going to be much more user friendly. It's much easier to use. I even had to learn it when the front desk was in quarantine after one of them had gotten exposed at home. It's a lot easier to use. There's so many more advantages to it. But we've had, and as you're probably well aware, some issues with the billing. And I want to first apologize for those that have affected you all. I know it's very frustrating. We've been very frustrated with it too. We've had lots of phone calls and Zoom meetings with the software company and their web developers, and we're getting things headed in the right direction. There are obviously some glitches that we need to figure out. I want to thank you for your patience as you have bared with us during this time. We're still having some issues with people that do direct withdraw from their bank accounts. The credit card processing company that we switched to had just changed how they do ACH transfers, but they didn't bother to tell us, or they didn't bother to tell the new software company either. So we're figuring some of that out. If you have questions, if you feel like you owe money, please call the front desk. If you have been on an ACH transfer and would be willing to use a credit card instead, that would simplify a lot. Those of you that are on family plans, the way that LPI software works now is you get a $30 charge for that first family member, and then a $20 charge for the second family member. And some of you, I know, my neighbor across the street's one of them, that he only got charged $30, and thank God Mike's an honest guy, great guy, so he yells at me across the street when I'm getting the mail. Hey, only got charged $30. Okay, well, if you're like Mike, what you need to do is call the front desk and put a credit card on file for that second family member as well. I think that's one of the things that we discovered. The old system just automatically billed $50. This new system just doesn't work that way. So we're learning some of the ins and outs that we would have rather not had to learn, but here we are learning them. Okay, we have also in the past had a frozen status on memberships, and I think that has been great in theory. Those of you that travel for a month or so at a time, sometimes I know some of you are snowbirds typically, and you want to go to warmer weather this time of year, or you want to go to Colorado or something like that in the middle of summer, and I don't blame you a bit. Or maybe you're having a medical procedure, so you know you're going to be out for 2 months maybe. In the past, we've been able to freeze those accounts. That has just created a lot of confusion, a lot of room for billing errors. So what we're going to do now is eliminate that frozen status. Since we're not like a regular gym, even though we are a 501c3, your membership dues pay for us. We don't get any money from the city for operations. The city, I always want to remind people, built the building, put the furniture in it. They don't pay for anything else. Um, so those membership dues are critical. Um, but we're not like a regular gym where there's a sign up fee, or if you cancel and then want to re-enroll later, you have to pay a fee. We don't have any of that. So what we're going to do um, is we will just terminate your, if you know you're going to be gone for a month or so, we're just going to terminate your account. And when you're ready to come back in and we will reactivate it. This will eliminate the problem of those, what was happening in the past is your account would go off freeze automatically for 3 months, after 3 months or 6 months, and people get busy, they forget to call back in and refreeze or something like that. Well, what happens is the software would automatically start charging you again. Well, we have 6,000, 7,000 members pre-COVID. We can't keep up with all that. So by doing away with the freeze policy, we feel that it's going to eliminate a lot of confusion, um, eliminate some of those automatic billing errors that were just happening. So I don't want you to panic or be concerned if you hear, well, we'll just terminate your account, because it doesn't mean what it means at other gyms. You don't have an enrollment fee with us. You never will. You're not going to have a re-enrollment fee. So I just wanted to let you know of that. We are also going to be requiring that any membership changes have to be made that last week prior to the month that you want the change effective. So if you know you are going on a 3 month vacation, or having a medical procedure that's going to put you out for 2 months, say that's going to start in February, you need to let the front desk know the last week in January, or you will be billed. We are just not able to go back and issue the number of refunds that we've done in the past. So we will get more information out to you about these changes, but I wanted to address them while we're on this. Anita, it looks like Misty got your question answered, so you're on supplemental insurance, so you're okay, Anita. We're just ready to see you back when you're vaccinated. Okay, let's talk a little bit about the renovation or the expansion. I know that's something that everyone always asks, and even though we're in a pandemic still and our visits are a little lower, we are still moving forward with the renovations. We are looking at some final sets of blueprints, making a couple of little minor changes. That should be going out to bid the first quarter of 2021. The architects and city say that this project is a 9-month construction project. If you're not familiar with what's going to be going on, we'll be adding more parking, we'll be adding a second gymnasium, a second multi-purpose area, more bathrooms, a secondary art space, and redoing the showers in the locker rooms, and then enlarging the women's locker room. Those are the main things that we'll be doing. There will be a period of time where both the men's and women's locker rooms are out of commission. We're hoping that we can arrange it where the new locker rooms are constructed before they start working on the current locker rooms. We're working through some timing, things like that. There will be a disturbance. Hopefully it's not more than a couple of weeks. But know that will be coming. But we'll reroute so people do have access to showers and such like that. We'll do that as much as possible. We are working on some ideas of how to operate the cafe, possibly with some volunteer help, and maybe HLOKC do this ourselves instead of bringing in an outside vendor. So hopefully there's more information coming about that down the road. I know it would be great to have that back. I know a lot of mornings I am on the run, and it's so nice to be able to walk in and get something little for breakfast right there at the center. So hopefully we can have those options again soon. So we'll keep you posted as those come along. Oh yeah, Kathy, thanks for bringing this up. I mentioned this, but I didn't go into detail. Kathy is saying the State Department posted last night the portal to register for your vaccination. So if you go to that vaccinate.ok.gov that I mentioned a few minutes ago, you can register, get kind of pre-registered in their vaccination system. That doesn't mean you automatically have an appointment, but that gets you in their list. They'll send an email to you with more information. So please, thank you, Kathy, for pointing that out, because I didn't go into all those details there. Please check that out. Please register on that, and stay informed. We will do what we can to keep you all informed as well. That's really all I had to talk about. I think we're all hoping for a more calm year after last year. We look forward to seeing everyone, and hope that I hope that you were able to have some big exciting plans for this year. I know a lot of people had good plans for last year that just had to go on the back burner. I know our family canceled a lot of trips, and went without seeing grandkids and extended family, and I know everybody's ready to get together again. So I hope that you all can do that soon. I hope that you stay healthy. Please be safe. Please know that we will be here when you are ready to open. I want to thank you for all that you do and the ways that you contribute to healthy living. And let me know. Always, if you have any questions, feel free to email me or leave me a message, and I will get back to you. Thank you, guys. Great to see everyone. Kind of, it's virtual, but I can see that there's at least 22 people watching right now, so that helps. I hope everyone has a great rest of the week, and take care of yourself, and we will see you soon. Bye. It is. Am I still on?